Hello and welcome to Gist with Jessica. I hope you all are doing well. So from the topic itself, you can find out that we have invited one political consultant for our discussion so that we can get to know about this field and who can apply for this job and what are the roles and responsibilities and how can we get into this. More importantly, we can find out what kind of skills that are needed for this kind of job so that at least we can prepare ourselves for the future, or at least if we are preparing, we can just get to know that are we into the right direction or not. Into the video, I would like to tell you a little bit about the political consultancy and what is it about and what kind of responsibility and skills you need to have such kind of job. So generally, as you can see, अभी 2024 के elections आने वाले हैं और generally different states में और different areas में elections throughout the years चलते ही रहते हैं. तो what happens is जो political parties होती हैं they hire few agencies or companies so that they can do some of their work like marketing, campaigning, designing, all these things जो होती हैं वो political parties खुद नहीं करती हैं बल्कि they hire few agencies, those who can work for themselves and they give them the money. That is a different thing. So these companies hire different kind of people and these jobs are not only reserved for, or I would say only for the tier 1 colleges. इसके लिए ऐसी कोई आपको high qualifying degree नहीं चाहिए that you need to be from IIT or IIM or from any other big college. Anybody from any college with some basic skills can apply for this job. So basically इसमें intern level से लेके associate, senior manager, different kind of roles होते हैं. Even the college students can also apply for. So everyone, we have Shilpi with us. She is a political consultant and she has been working in this area from a really long time. We welcome you, Shilpi, on the Gist with Jessica. Thank you so much for taking out your precious time for this discussion so that people can also get to know about this field. So before moving into this discussion, knowing about skill set and how can people create a career into that and what kind of education qualification they need, we would just love to hear just a normal introduction from your side so that we can also get to know you.
School where I live in Kolkata, West Bengal. And then I did my graduation in economics, and followed by that I did a 2 years master's degree in public policy from Bangalore. And thereafter I joined this political consultancy firm, which is known to be the biggest in our country, Indian Political Action Committee, founded and guided by political strategist Prashant Kishore, whom you have often seen during 2014 Lok Sabha election with Narendra Modi, followed by several state elections in Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, briefly in Delhi also, and then majorly in West Bengal 2021 elections. And so I joined there as a political consultant in the year 2018, June, right after my master's in public policy. And thereafter I worked there for 3 years and then joined NGO, Bangalore-based NGO, which typically work in the space of urban governance. The NGO is named Janagraha Center for Citizenship and Democracy. So right now I'm here as a senior associate, and it's directly linked with 2 of their flagship programs called City Leaders Program and City Politics. I'll talk about them a bit later.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So much, Shilpi, for this beautiful introduction. I really hope that people, those who are listening must have got a lot from your introduction itself. So my next question is about the skill set, because you mentioned a lot of things and you mentioned that you got, interest into this field right after your master's, and then you, went into this after trying other few things. So my question is, what kind of skill set and hobbies? I'm asking hobbies because there are a number of students who are into the college, specifically tier 2 and tier 3 colleges. who do not consider their hobbies as much of a bigger thing like the skill set. And being in a college like in second year or third year, you do not have a lot of skill set. So क्या होता है ना कि उस point पे we just reject ourselves at the first place. Why? Because we do not have any kind of skill specifically. So what kind of skill set would you suggest for the students of graduation or people who are just thinking of starting this career right after their masters or something like that? So what kind of skill set would you suggest, and what kind of hobbies people can have so that it can add extra into their skills for getting this kind of job?
Okay, so funnily, until I was in school, I wanted to become an engineer, as most of my family members, my cousins, my elder siblings, they have done. And I was like, okay, fine, I'm good in computer sciences. I'm taking up science in class 11, 12, and I'll join a BTech degree. And I gave all the entrance exam also, got fair enough rank as well. And then I don't know, since high school or so, I was also interested in this domain of electoral politics in our country. Not that I would say that I was really into the national politics or international politics, but at the local level, at the state level, and specifically what is going on in Delhi, I was very interested. I always had this habit of reading newspaper, getting up in the morning, and I guess that is a very usual thing in a Bengali family to do. We get up, we take our cup of chai and start going through several newspapers. And so I always had this thing. And then something got in my head that after BTech, instead of just doing a regular IT job, why not do to join UPSC? I was very interested. I thought of doing an 4-year BTech degree and then going for UPSC. Then my grandfather told me if you really want to go into UPSC, then why BTech? Rather you go for some honors degree that will cut down one of your degree course like years as well. Honors is a 3 years course in our country, and go for some practical subjects like economics or even if you want to do UPSC and do computer science, then do a BSc honors. No, reduce 1 year of studies, because you'll have to read up a lot, study a lot, give a lot of time if you really want to crack a UPSC degree. That's not a cup of tea. Then I was like, okay, fine, this also makes sense. Then okay, I'll do a 3 years honors. And that's how I sat for all this honors examination, the aptitude test, and got into economics honors. During my undergraduation, the first year, I was actually preparing for UPSC. When my first year, after the first year completion of the first year in my 3 years honors, I came back for a vacation here at home, and then my grandfather told me, like, I know UPSC and all are reputed job and all of this, but then you have to, at the end of the day, you have to listen to orders, and I don't think you are meant for those kind of a thing. Why don't you try something new? And then I was like, first you told me not to take up BTech. Now you are saying, okay, don't go for UPSC itself. What you want? Then he explained me this entire domain of urban governance, policy drafting, and all of it. And then I realized, okay, I have little bit of knowledge in this, because UPSC, while you study, read for this like paper, it's huge. It is never ending. And I used to study from public administration to political science to history to Indian economics to international economics to finance to everything. So I was like, okay, this is also not a bad field. So the next 3.5 months, I kept on researching about it. I came to know about Harris School of Public Policy, Lee Kuan School of Public Policy, Singapore, and all of this policy folks, what they do. Because I'm talking about 2012, 2013. So that time, public policy in India was not a big deal. Like it was not, if you see, there were not major courses being run in our country that time. And so little bit I could know, like from where exactly in India I would be able to do a proper full-blown degree in public policy. But what I could understand that if you have this degree, you will end up having good jobs at good place. And at that early age of 18, 19 years old, that was more than enough for me, I guess. So over the time, I continued to study for like not exactly for UPSC, but for all of these public policy courses, you have to sit for 2-3 rounds of interviews. The first will be a basic aptitude interview, wherein they ask you about macro and micro economics, Indian political system, in public administration, budgeting, finance, modern history, all of it. It's the miniature version of what you do for UPSC. Okay. So I continued to study, and by the end, like of third year, I knew that I got to know about few institutes like Azim Premji University. They have like now they have a degree, 2 years degree. During that time, they had 1 year diploma course of public policy. Then both the TIS Hyderabad also, TIS Bombay also, they also had this degree of 2 years degree. And then I saw Mount Carmel College, Christ University from Bangalore, they are also having such a degree. What interested me was when I came to see that Mount Carmel College, Bangalore, they were associating with Takshashila Institute and running this public policy course, a 2 years master degree. And Takshashila I knew because of Nitin Pai, because I was a student. I did my graduation from Manipal University, and because of the Pai lineage, I knew Nitin Pai, who is the head founder of Takshashila Institute. It's a think tank, basically. It's a public policy think tank, and Nitin writes extensively on India-China policy, foreign policies, basically. Because of Takshashila, and I used to follow them already, like through Twitter and all. So I knew about what they do, and that intrigued me. I started getting in touch with Nitin. I started getting in touch with Anupam Manur, Pawan Srinath, Pranay Kostane. These are all proper researcher, and they write articles. Like Anupam writes in economics, and Pranay in public finance. Like all of these people, they are usually majorly researcher and writes blog posts, articles, journals. So I used to follow them. So it seemed to be quite interesting to me because public policy at that time, 2015 around, was very new to our country. I did not know what exactly I would be learning if I directly join a proper educational institute. Right. And to my surprise, I was right. So I gave their interview, the aptitude test, followed by they used to have this interesting round wherein they used to only one question, where they'd say whatever recent public policy in the Indian government you have come through and you have understood or you have knowledge about or you have little bit interest, just write your opinion on that. Good, bad, ugly, the features, everything. Very simple. And they had this interesting round, and then they would have 2.5 hours of interview, wherein they try to understand are you fit for this course. So yeah, so that's how I landed up in public policy, the degree itself, and then because I have always been inclined towards electoral politics, this had become a space where I have been working. It has been now around 6 years I'm working. So the first skill I think is reading, like not some heavy book or 5,000 pages ka book, but very simple thing. Be very up to date about what's going on around us. Maybe my state, maybe my city, obviously my country. I should be knowing what's going on around in my own country, right? There will be 5 to 6 major things on which the news industry drives. and buy news, just don't stick to the newspaper, because for all practical purposes, somebody will be supporting this, somebody will be supporting that. But what we need to understand is what several people are talking about it. So one is having the habit of reading newspaper. Second is research articles, opinion pieces. Now, how do you choose whom to read, whom not to read? LinkedIn and Twitter are the universe for us. This, like, next, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 years will be all about LinkedIn and Twitter. Whatever you want to know, you get it from these two sources. These are authenticated source. We have to follow people of this domain who understands this area, who talks a lot about this area, writes about this area. Follow those people. Like, if I talk about foreign policy, specifically Southeast Asia and Asia Pacific as a whole, then I know that Nitin keeps on writing about it. Go read through his article, and then to fix your mind, read some 2, 3 more authors also, what they are also saying. And then you can form your own opinion about it. Right? So following people on LinkedIn, following people on Twitter helps, like, personally it has helped me a lot. And I can vouch on the fact that yes, like, this is one topmost thing which you have to understand. Reading news, following people, relevant people over Twitter and LinkedIn, and like, form your own opinion. And then if you talk about strict skill set, then I would also say that basic knowledge about financing, budgeting. When our finance minister is giving a budget speech, we should at least understand the basic of it. Like, not the nitty-gritties of maybe every sector that even I will not understand, but at least the few sectors I am interested in, like urban governance, if I'm interested in, I should at least know how much my country is willing to spend in this coming financial year on this particular sector. Or when I'm talking about that I'm interested in education sector, then at least I could talk to, like, people about how my country has invested monetarily in the last 5 years, and how the budget has been growing, or what has been the total budget used in several policies. So the basic understanding of economics, finance, definitely, I always say the political economy of country, because at the end of the day, we are a democracy. It's not about we have to know who is the leader, first leader of Congress or first leader of BJP. That kind of thing is not required. But the basic understanding of how a state is run, a state is governed, a city is governed, how the center works, who is an MP, who is an MLA, who is a council, like the basic of political history. And yeah, in today's world, we have to be tech savvy. We have to know about Microsoft Suite, and because knowing one thing is different, presenting the same thing to let the world that you know and let the world that they should also know, you have to express yourself. The tools of expressing in today's world is not letters, it's presentation, it's poster. Like, recently, 2 days back only, I saw somewhere somebody writes that there are too many publications but less readers to read those publications, which is true. I myself have been like saving hundred of publications, saying, oh, these are relevant to what I do or what I'm interested in, but then I end up forgetting or don't get time to read through the entire thing. But if the author would have initiated a poster series, maybe 2, 3 posters, or a simple slide of 5, 6 slides to summarize the crux of that publication, that document, I think I would have definitely gone through that, or used it sometime later. So we have to understand the importance of simple tools like Canva. Even I am not very pro in using Photoshop, or if you ask me to design a heavy poster, I'll not be able to do maybe. But simple things like Canva, PowerPoint presentation, all of these things, which comes very handy, free softwares, one should know how to use them. Data collection from authenticated source to data presentation, visualization, and giving it out in a proper way is a must skill in today's world. So I think these are the top most important skills one should have if they are approaching this field.
Thank you so much, Shilpi, for this insightful information. So my next question is, generally because in Indian context we have tier one, tier two, and tier three colleges, and people, students specifically in tier two colleges generally think that most of the good opportunities will go in the hands of tier one college, and obviously there are a number of reasons for that. In such kind of field, or in general in many kind of fields, students from tier 2 and tier 3 colleges think that maybe they do not have sufficient skill set, or maybe they do not have some fancy internship lined up in their CV so that they can apply for something else. So this generally happens in terms of skill set, internship, and other opportunities like placements and all. So and generally people from tier 3 to 2 and 3 college, what happens is they generally reject themselves from even before others can reject themselves. And it can also be the case for students from tier 1 college, because it depends on student to student, and this is the general case in our generation specifically, that we reject ourselves at the first place. So I just want to ask this question, that how can students from different colleges, being it from a very small city, or being it a very fancy college in a really good city, or being an average college, how can students from different colleges they can bridge this gap of getting so many opportunities and getting nothing, and getting average opportunities, so that they can in future they can go for really good opportunities, or they can just avail some good institution jobs in good institution, or things like that. So what kind of specific skill set would you suggest?
Three system in our unfortunate system in our country. So what usually happens in for tier one institutes, like most of the people, like nobody wants to go to a tier two or tier three institutes, right? Everybody would want to go to tier one. But where we fail is our marks, because that is the basic criteria how we filter. And I don't know, like there is a lack of, other ways to shortlist students. So that's why they also have to do it. The system is bound to do that. So personally speaking, when I cracked IIT and I did not take it, my father stopped talking to me because of it. Like, you cracked IIT, then why you're not joining it? It's a tier one thing, and you'll realize it later. I will not lie, but once I started my professional career, I too felt like this thing of rejecting myself before the world is rejecting me. I also thought, okay, fine, these people will any which ways not give me a good package because I'm not from an IIT or IIM. But then, fortunately, I have friends or family members who are highly educated and highly knowledgeable as well, who kept on telling me, you upgrade yourself in such a way that even though you are not from a tier one university, you'll end up having the same caliber, same package as what they are having. And trust me, to this date, this holds true. So where I started changing myself was I started upgrading myself. Like, when I remembered my college students, when my peers used to go back to their hometowns or maybe trips during the summer vacation, the winter vacations, I made it a point that I'll stay in the campus to do internships. Right. Because internship, what they are like, none of my internships were paid internships. But what I knew was I learned things, how a office space looks like. Until that time, I was very new to that. I'm still a student, right? I've never walked into an office. So sitting inside an office from 9 to 5, looking at the other colleagues, you are bound to learn things. Maybe simple communication skills, how to talk in a professional space, how to walk in a professional space, right? How to dress up in a professional space. From actual work itself, you learn a lot, right? So I always involved myself in 10 other things than just visiting my hometown, like whenever there is a leave. So at a very early age, right after the first year completion, I was a co-founder of this NGO called Gramiksha. It was running in Gwalior. It started from Gwalior, actually, Madhya Pradesh, under the MP Registration Act. And I, along with my friends, we got that into Jaipur also, like where I was studying during my undergraduation. So basic thinking. I used to walk past this government school where the children used to chew tobacco and they're not having classes. So I used to randomly ask, like, this is your school hours, right? Why? What are you doing outside? This is a Didi. Teacher nahi hai. So we are outside. I'm like, okay, fine. So there is a shortage of teachers there, right? So how to fill that gap? I kept on researching. I kept on talking to my peers, obviously the like-minded peers, like who were equally interested and invested in such kind of thing. And together we formed a group of 12 people. Then we got to know about Gramiksha, and then we collaborated with them. Started, recruiting students from the university itself. And then, like today, Gramiksha runs in Delhi as well, Lakshmangarh, Raipur, and several other places. And they are doing really good. Like the school I'm talking about, it's a modern school right now with a computer lab and everything, being funded by the Rajasthan government itself. Right. So you have to always think about outside the box. If I would have just kept on bugging myself that, okay, fine, I have left IIT behind and now I am doing my bachelor's from a tier 2 private college. So everything I have lost in life, then I would have stuck over there itself. I would have never come to where I aim to go in the future. So this idea of thinking in a different way, this idea of understanding that you have to upgrade. The only constant, like in life, everything will be changing. 10 years back, Naukri.com was the only place where people used to look for job. Now you have 10 other platforms to look out for jobs, right? So from 10 years down the line, something else will come. Maybe something will replace LinkedIn also. Then all of us have to learn that new platform. So we have to keep on upgrading. So one is you have to understand first what you like. The basic domain. If I like education, somebody can like healthcare. Somebody can talk about just about mental health, or somebody about sports, or somebody would like something else, like transportation, mobility. There are n number of things in the world which requires us. We are the generation who has to pull everything together, right? To make things work. So we have to understand 2-3 domain specific areas where we are interested in, and then understand how we can contribute there. Once you understand this, half of the things you have already won. Then understand to help these people what skills I need. Excuse me. Yeah. So the basic things is look out for opportunities where you can go and do volunteering. In India, I have seen we don't encourage this volunteering culture. We don't. I emphasize a lot. Like today also, when I intern, I take higher interns or I hire associates, I always keep on telling them that this job is not everything what you want. There will be 10 other things which you will be wanting. This you are doing for, to sustain a livelihood, maybe. So take out time to do those things as well. Go out, volunteer. Go out, help like people. You always learn. You always learn from that. So I have internships is one thing, how you can actually showcase your skill sets, your caliber. While this while a company, like when I walk to say Xavier School of Management, Bhubaneswar, so I don't just see about their marks or what. I also look out for who has volunteered where, from which internship they have gained, what experience, and how they can contribute to my team, right? So it's fine. You could not get into a tier 1 institute. How to make up for that is do practical things. Learn about practical skills, and that will definitely help you. And also, while you intern, you connect to people, right? So, funnily, this like Janagram, where I am a senior associate right now, in the year 2017, I worked as an intern for 9 months. So from there, everybody knows me. So while I was switching my job, I switched my job during a very bad time of COVID and where my parents were very scared. Okay, you are leaving a good job and I don't know what you are up to. Trust me, I did not sit idle for even one day. The day I left my job, the next day I joined the next job. I do not come from an IIT. I do not come from an IIM. I have also studied from tier two universities. It's all about gaining practical experiences, which speaks for yourself. Yeah.
Really hope students, those who are listening, can just push themselves a little extra so that they can just get into the fields that you have suggested, or they can just learn all these skills and get into some kind of internship in their extra time. So yeah, it was really very insightful. So I would just ask one last question, because we have been discussing, and I think this very short discussion won't do a justice to the whole concept of getting skills and getting into internships, and how students get to know more about such field. But still, yeah, we have limitation of time. So my next question would be, could you suggest few of the organization, it can be private organization, companies or government, so that students who are still in college or people who are just starting their career and they are young professional can just apply for that, specifically people who are interested in this area?
So there will be lot of organization like there are. So if you want to, so developmental sector consists of two wings. One is like typically working for an NGO or CSO, like a non-governmental organization like Janagra itself, CSOs. Otherwise, the other end of it is the government itself. There are in number of chief minister's fellowships. You'll see there's good governance fellowship. Punjab government organizes. There is another chief minister fellowship. It's been running in Maharashtra since last few years, couple of years I've seen. Delhi government has also started doing it. Then various political parties hire, associates to, help them out with strategy, communication, and all of it. So first of all, we have to understand that when we talk about political parties and politics, it's not bad. There will be some good or bad people, but that's very minuscule. The entire idea is everybody to work together and to ensure the union of like our country is standing tall, right? So it's not a bad thing to work for a political party at all. I have done myself, and I don't think I'm in a good I'm in a bad place right now. So there are political parties you can look out for. They keep on looking out for social media campaigners to manage their entire this social media network, their publicity, online offline publicity, research and insight teams. All the political parties today have all the parties. And then the government departments also, they give out they hire consultants. Like you don't have to sit for any government exams. Like you don't have to clarify for a state civil service or anything. It's just they'll take your resume into consideration and then a small aptitude thing, and followed by some skill set training like your typing speed and how to run Excel or these presentations and all of it. And then after an interview, you join this like state government or city government. In fact, like I know people who work for the Indore Municipal Corporation, and they're getting paid well enough. So all of these things you should look out for. Twitter is a great space to follow all of these departments. And other than that, you have a number of places like from WRI, World Resource Institute, to Center for Public Policy, to several. You just one step away from using that search button in LinkedIn. Just type non-governmental organization in India. There will be at least 50. Like in the first search itself, it's very easy. But I would also suggest people not to neglect this domain of political parties or the state government, city government, who also hires, right? Because often we think, yeah, okay, fine, who would want to work for a party? They have such bad name or something. But it's it's a great place to learn. You can always leave a job, right? If you're not satisfied and you think, okay, this is beyond what I was expecting, you can always leave. but you actually learn how to do real life research, because who are these political leaders? They are the close contacts with the citizen. You get a hands-on experience to real life problem. You can really literally see people walking into their offices with their own real life issues, and you have a significant contribution to solve those issues. That itself gives you so much motivation to do so much in this field. That's like more than enough. Yeah.
We are in end of this discussion, and thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking out time and just being into this discussion. I really hope that students who are listening to us, it might have helped them a lot, and I really look forward that maybe in future I can just invite you once again and we can discuss more about this, and we can answer the question if students have. So yeah, thank you so much for being here, and to the students who are listening, I really hope that this discussion did have added a little, at least, into your understanding, and at least it has provided you some kind of guidance if you want to get into this field or in general also. So yeah, keep watching, and thank you so much.